guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm here in hot, humid, sunny Florida, and don't adjust your earbuds or your speakers. The bugs are full in effect, especially those cicadas. But you know what? The show must go on, and we have some celebrating to do because of this car right here. This is a 2021 Toyota Prius. This one though, and it may sound a little confusing, is a special edition known as the 2020 edition. But before we dive into the original, or at least one of the original hybrid vehicles, especially from Toyota, let's talk about what's going on here. So get out the candles, get out the party hats. It's time to celebrate a birthday. The Toyota Prius is 20 years in the making. Since that starting time, Toyota has sold 1.9 million Priuses worldwide. And if that's how you even say Prius plural, is it Pri or Priuses? Let me know what you think in the comment section. But to celebrate that amazing feat, Toyota has created this 2020 edition. And what's interesting is that they're continuing forward with the Prius. Obviously a lot of talk, a lot of movement in the direction of electric vehicles. But what I want to find out with this review, should you go EV? Is it time now to go EV? Especially with Toyota coming out with their first electric vehicle known as the BZ4X. Or should you stick with a hybrid if you want to have that extra fuel savings capability? And if you're going to go hybrid, is this still the king of all the hybrids, especially when you look at the competition, even from the same brand with the Toyota Corolla hybrid? Once upon a time, hybrids had to look really unique. This Toyota Prius continues that whole unique style to help cheat the air and get those maximum miles from every drop of fuel. So let's go ahead, let's dive into our supersonic red 2020 edition Prius. Find out, is it still the king, or is it the king of the hybrid vehicles? Or should you go with a Corolla hybrid or maybe one of the competitors? Let's find out. Right off the bat, that supersonic red sparkles like a ruby in the Florida sun. When we start at the front of the business, you're gonna see a lot of that same styling that has continued down the line with the different generations of the Priuses. So you're gonna get that same headlight housing. I do like the way they black out the interior. You have that projector beam LED headlight style. And really, the way it boomerangs into the fender does give it a nice futuristic look to it that still continues to this day. Now, working your way down, you are gonna get more exterior lighting. And on the 2020 edition, besides the supersonic red color, which is one of the signature colors of the edition, you are gonna get the gloss black around that exterior lighting. Everything has been formed, like I said, to have that low drag coefficient to maximize the air. The less air you have to push, the better your fuel economy is gonna be right off the bat. Now, when we come across the front, we're still looking at that, like I said, that unique style to what hybrids were known for. When you look at the Corolla hybrid, guess what? It looks like a regular Corolla. Prius though, continuing with that unique style. Now you are gonna have that Toyota badge in the center with the blue. The blue represents hybrid technology. We have some flat black, and the great news is it's functional in this top portion, but also as we drop down, more flat black, and it's functional on the bottom portion. So the great news is no fake vents on the front of the Prius. You do have your lower LED fog lamps. I like the way they added those in, and the way they take that lower lip and kind of extend it out. Like I said, it's all for aero reasons, but it helps give this a little bit more sporty appearance for a hybrid. Now, when we get up onto the hood, very unique design. The body lines all start on that front fascia, kind of make a big V, and then you're gonna notice this like plateau, this flat plateau area. Now, to the untrained eye, you might say, why would they do that? But like I said, it's all about creating that low drag coefficient, and that really helps give it also that unique style. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup on this Prius. You're gonna notice that for the 2020 edition, you're getting these gloss black wheels. I actually like the style. Simple, clean, that 5-star spoke setup, and the gloss black really working well with the color, that supersonic red color, looks fantastic. 17-inch wheel. So if you're comparing this to the Corolla hybrid, you're gonna have a smaller wheel. This has 17-inch wheel, and I think we'd both agree the gloss black works great with that supersonic color and helps make it look a little bit more sportier. Into that fender, you're gonna get blacked out badges all the way around the vehicle for the 2020 edition. So we have our blacked out hybrid badge, flat black with your vortex generator to clean up the air, gloss black on the mirror caps. The one thing I wish they would have done is if you're gonna black out things, why not black out the shiny chrome stuff on the mirrors? So I would like to see that blacked out. We are gonna zonk that, but you do have your arrow work to it and that style, but like I said, it just kind of doesn't match the blacked out appearance on our particular 2020 edition. No sunroof to speak of, so you're gonna get that sloping roof into the rear glass area, color matched on the door handles. That body line, it's interesting. This body line that starts along the bottom and curves up shows motion even though the vehicle is not moving. And that is part of, like I said, that aero work that they brought into the vehicle. Coming around the back, you can see the body lines, some gloss black in that rear pillar area. And then, believe it or not, unique to the 2020 edition, as we go from that rear pillar into the hatch area, this spoiler is unique to the 2020 edition. So it's not just a badging thing or painted wheels. You're actually getting the unique wheels, the blacked out badges, and this massive tabletop wing. You could definitely have Thanksgiving Day dinner right here on this rear wing. You see how the air comes off of the roof over the rear glass and then kicks up. And then you're gonna get, remember that U word, unique, that split glass setup to help cheat that air. If you want to have the unique style, the Prius is definitely bringing it over the Corolla hybrid, but you're gonna get your clean styling, just like the headlights with your taillights. I like the way they kind of just gloss black the top area. You got your blacked out badge, hybrid XLE trim. Look at the way they blacked out the Toyota badge. Thank you for doing that, the Prius. And then as we drop down, you're just gonna have simple, flat black, no exhaust sticking down or anything like that. But why don't we go ahead, we talked about the exterior, let's go ahead, pop the hood and see what's powering our Prius. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, but the good news is it's all the way over to the passenger side. Underneath the hood, quite surprising to pop the hood and see a bright engine cover that actually is tasteful. Nice silver engine cover with the Toyota badge and that hybrid blue color. What are we looking at though? Underneath that cover, you're looking at a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated inline four paired to one electric motor. That's gonna give us 121 horsepower, 105 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT, and it does utilize a lithium-ion battery. 0 to 60, you're watching the wrong vehicle if you're looking for fast 0 to 60. 0 to 60 in 9.7 seconds. The vehicle weighs 3,010 pounds, but here is where you're gonna win the races. You're not gonna stop at the fuel stations very often. 54 MPGs in the city, 50 on the highway. So that's the great news when it comes to the setup, the hybrid setup. And when we're comparing that to the other hybrids, there's a lot of new players on the block, but they can't bring those kinds of numbers. And that's where 20 years of doing it. Yeah, the Honda Insight, they brought that hybrid technology as well over at Honda, but Toyota is still doing it. That's another one you could compare it to, but let's go ahead. Let's get to the inside and see if there's unique changes for the 2020 edition. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 Toyota Prius 2020 edition. I know that sounds interesting. It sounds strange. Why is it called the 2020 edition? Remember, it's because of 20 years of Prius. I think it would have been a little bit smarter to just call it the 20th anniversary edition rather than the 2020 edition. But here's the cool thing. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this? Because I'm looking at the Corolla Hybrid, I'm looking at the Honda Insight, I'm even looking over at Hyundai, and of course the Elantra Hybrid. How much is this one? Well, here's the cool thing. They're only making 2,020 of these. So it is a limited edition, and do you see what Toyota did there? 2020, It's a 2020 edition, and they're making 2020 examples. Only 2 colors, and this supersonic red is one of them. But let's see, it's $31,000 MSRP. It is a bit more expensive than the Corolla Hybrid, but let's see, are you getting more when it comes to this special edition to the door panels? I love the clean, just monochromatic style that we got going on here. Soft touch up top, nice soft, a place where you're gonna wanna put your arm on the armrest. The zonk is that gloss metallic black around the switchgear. It is gonna create some fingerprints, and then the door pocket is very, very tight. Maybe one 7-Eleven hot dog, no mustard, no kraut, maybe not even a bun, and a can of Mountain Dew to wash it all down. Now, when you're going from the door panel to the dash, because this is the 2020 edition, you are getting some black chrome finish around the AC vents and the Prius name there. I wish they would have used that dark chrome on the exterior. Nice soft touch. This is another trim that I wish they would put in other Toyota vehicles. This stainless steel, look at this, no fingerprints, looks classy, and you have this built-in holder for Slim Jims or those really long Twizzlers that you get at the gas station. Now, going from the dash to the gauges and everything, this is the gauge setup. So unique, just like the exterior, is the gauge cluster in the Toyota Prius. You got all digital on your speedometer, your fuel gauge, your range. You have that center display there where you could scroll through a cornucopia of different information, your range, you could get graphs and everything else, your AC controls, and then you have everything else gonna be that backlit. What's interesting is for the Prius, they have a Casio style digital clock, which is kind of unique. I wish they would have changed that up, but going from the gauge pod to the center stack here, there's more of that stainless steel. We have some nice dark chrome. You got your power on button because this is a hybrid. And then you're gonna get a touchscreen infotainment system setup. 7 inches, you could get your battery engine display there for when you're charging your battery. Obviously Sirius XM. Apple CarPlay, we now have Android Auto. Let me throw it in reverse. There's your backup camera. No trajectory, and the resolution is a little grainy, but it does take up all 7 inches, which is nice. If you have 7 inches, use the 7 inches since you don't have any extra. But that is simple to use. You got your AC controls, standard AC, single temperature setting, and obviously your blower fan speed, easy to get to. Drop down, this little stub nub here is to control the CVT transmission. So very unique, like I keep saying, that U word, unique for the transmission setup. You got your different drive modes, full EV mode, wireless charging. The gloss black is a little heavy here. It looks good brand new. I'm just curious what this is gonna age like. We have heated seats, cup holders, and then you're gonna get your key fob with your panic button there, red stitching, 2020 edition, nice leather style condom for your key fob. And then I do like the soft touch material, 12 volt and USB. So they got you covered connectivity wise. And then the armrest, I like how high it is. Very nice and high. The only zonk is that it only opens my way, the driver's side way. The good news is you could store up to 13 Twinkies, a baker's dozen worth of Twinkies in here, and they could be just for you, not for anybody else. And then the seats, you're gonna get that soft text material, nice piping, super smooth. The great news is they're super comfy. I wish I could have a pair of these seats in my living room. Manual adjustments for the passenger. I have electric assist. Like I pointed out, no sunroof, but you got tons of headroom in here. Coming over to the business end, I wanna show you behind the wheel of this Toyota Prius. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your seat controls, easy to get to, including that lower lumbar. Really makes the driver's seat feel so nice. You do have custom floor mats. Prius 2020 edition, that's gonna give you an extra 20 horsepower. That's why they highlighted it in red, supersonic red. Overall, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room in here. The weirdness is the steering wheel and where the dash is. It almost feels a little bit like you're driving a golf cart in a way, but that is the unique setup. The great news though, it gives you awesome visibility out the front. Steering wheel, you have the leather, the stitching, Not the sexiest horn button, a little bit of that gloss black, but you do have a heated steering wheel, and you do get all the Toyota sensing safety technology. Manual steering wheel with adjustments, so you could do tilting and telescoping, which is great. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see if your passengers are going to enjoy hypermiling with you in the Prius. All right, guys, back seat time, and the unbelievable thing, even with the lithium-ion battery in the back seat area, still plenty of headroom, nice and comfortable. I did not move the seats, and I got plenty of leg room as well. Backs of the seats have that soft text material, super-sized pockets, and the good news is you're going to want to load this up with the snacks, maybe some road travel games, because you're not going to be stopping for fuel. Maybe put a couple bottles back here, because that's how people are going to have to go to the restroom, because we're not stopping at the gas station because we don't need to fuel up. Back of the center console, you do have 2 USBs, which is phenomenal. No rear AC, but you know what? The AC works so well in this car, you don't need the AC vents back here. And I'm not even joking about that. Really, one of my favorite things is how fast this car cools down the temperature. I have my own pocket over here. Maybe I'll put a supersized calzone and a back scratcher so I could eat my calzone and scratch my back, make myself feel really good. And then armrest. Designed by Charmin, super soft with 2 cup holders. This material is so easy to clean. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the cargo area and see what we could haul in the Prius. All right, guys, another area where this vehicle shines is gonna be the cargo space, especially if we're comparing it to the Corolla Hybrid. Opening it up, not electric assist, but not very heavy, because this is composite. That's a composite rear hatch to help lower the weight, lessen things up, because weight also robs us of mileage. But what do we got? We got a nice wide opening and very, very low cargo floor. So with those rear seats up, I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, how much space is there? 27.4 cubic feet of space. You open the seats down, 50.7 cubic feet of space. You're blowing some SUVs out of the water with this Prius, and so simple. You just push and fold it down. 1, 2, 3, easy peasy. Lemon freaking squeezy. And then you also have the security shade there when you're going to the mall and you're buying all your presents and your gifts for all your friends that you're trying to buy. You could put all those gifts under there, pull the security shade. But you know what? I need to try. All right, guys, we're in this Toyota Prius XLE trim, obviously hybrid, and it is one of the originals. Definitely the original Toyota when it comes to that hybrid technology. 20 years in the making. Very, very easy to drive. You got your different drive modes, eco mode, normal, and power mode when you're feeling a little hashtag race car. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep it in normal mode as we're driving. It is fascinating just how nice it is to have a large area outside the windshield that's so easy to see. The A-pillars are pulled way far apart, and even looking out the back, having that split glass setup, you have a lot of room. You really, really do. Side mirrors are great. You got blind spot monitoring, of course, and then it's quiet in the cabin, which is nice. And I think that's where you're going to see the finishes compared to the Corolla Hybrid. That's where you're gonna see the difference. You're gonna feel the difference driving this Prius compared to a Corolla Hybrid, or even like a Elantra Hybrid, or the inside. It's just the quietness of the cabin. Seats are phenomenal. I wish more seats would be like these. It's just a unique setup, you know? It's like I could sit here and zonk everything, especially the way that they did the instrumentation, but you know what? It makes sense, especially when it comes to visibility. Now, is it for me? Probably not, but hey, that's what's great about the car world, is the variety and having tons of different vehicles for all different people and for their needs. But seamless transition from the naturally aspirated engine to the hybrid electric motor. You just have that single electric motor, so of course we are front-wheel drive. And I think my favorite thing, especially living in Florida and it being the summertime, is the wonderful AC system that we have. Really just allows you to feel good inside the vehicle. But why don't we go ahead, let's I'm gonna put it back in power mode. Let's go on throttle. Here we go. So, not the vehicle that you want to use when you're going to the drag strip, but if you're going to a faraway drag strip to watch and spectate, this really is going to get you there, and it's not going to cost you a lot at the pump. When it comes to electric vehicles, I still think hybrid is the way to go if you're trying to be more conscious. When it comes to your fuel usage, you don't have to worry about range and have that range anxiety. You just fuel up at any fuel station. But getting to everything is well within reach. The 7-inch infotainment system is plenty for what we need in this particular vehicle. And then you do have, like I said, the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto has now been added, and all the other fine touches. The gloss black, I'm curious about how that's going to age over time, but still, I think the Prius is definitely bringing it when it comes to the fit, the finish, the reliability, and of course, the fuel economy. Pulling away from the light, seamless, smooth. When you put the vehicle in reverse, you get that whirly-twirly sound to alert pedestrians so you don't run them over, since it's super quiet. And then, nice thickness on the steering wheel. Having the ability, you know, tilting and telescoping wheel is very nice to get to that high-end comfort, because I'm telling you, you're not going to be stopping at the pump for fuel. But what I want to do is I want to get us out onto the highway and see how this vehicle drives, because like I said, I think that's really where it earns its keep. But on throttle, here we go. I do like the information that gauge cluster gives you, especially when it comes to the climate controls, your speed limit, your speed, your fuel. That thing has not moved the whole week. MPGs, you can switch into range and all that other great information. But as we get out onto the roadway, onto the highway here, I really want to feel, like I said, the cruising capability. But as you're going down the road, just very smooth, and you'll be able to turn lots of miles in this vehicle. Going down the road, very smooth, and you can definitely just rack on the miles and feel fresh as a daisy when you get to your destination. And you're gonna get there quicker because you're not stopping at the pump. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the Toyota Prius 2020 edition is all about. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day with this Toyota Prius. I definitely got to thank Zach, Paul, and the rest of the crew over at Toyota for allowing Raiti's Rides access to this press fleet vehicle. I also want to thank the cicadas for adding that extra ambient noise to really make sure you know that we are in Florida. But Prius, hybrid technology. The world is shifting. We're going EVs. Is this the better way to go? I don't know. You kind of get rid of that range anxiety from the EVs. You have that Prius name, which seems to stand out in the hyper mile community. Yeah, you could go Corolla hybrid, but you definitely want to go and take a drive. If you're looking for a hybrid, especially a Toyota, take one of these originals, the OG, the Toyota Prius, for a drive and see what you think about it. But let me know what way you would want to go in the comment section. Are you going to go EV? Are you going to go hybrid? Are you going to ride a bicycle? Are you going to just crawl around the floor? Let me know in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. if you want to help us keep making hot, sweaty content like we are right now on Raiti's Rides, click the first link in the description, become a Raiti's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. I got to give it up to the hypermiler behind the camera. She does not give up when getting the cars on film, so show Lori some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for being the muscle behind the lens. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.